Hey, Annissa here with Firehouse Education and this week's Ask Annissa video column. And this week our question comes from Tony. And Tony sent me an email and asked, how much can you really make when you're going out and doing a cat loss or responding to some sort of a catastrophe type situation? Tony, thank you so much for sending me that question. That's a great question. I know there's a lot of talk that goes on in forums and sometimes even on Facebook and lots of numbers being thrown around. But what I want to do, Tony, is I want to talk to you about my experience and what we've done with our company in responding. And we have been out to many catastrophe or cat loss, as we call them in the industry, type situations. And it is absolutely not a problem for you to do $10,000 to $20,000 a day in a cat loss situation. Now, that being said, I don't want you to think I'm talking about only a big company that has like 100 employees. I mean, it's very realistic to do that kind of dollar amount in a single day when you are a small to medium-sized even restoration company. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, whoa, that's a lot of money, Annissa. How the heck am I supposed to do that? Well, there's really three key things that you need to know in order to be able to do that. One is you need to know how to get that work to come into you. The second thing is you need to know how to get the resources at your disposal that you're going to need to get that work done. And of course, the third thing, which is very, very important, is how to get paid for that work once you get it done. Now, in order to know these three key things that you have to have handled, you got to have a few things in place. Just jumping up, throwing some equipment in a truck and running off with a legal pad or an iPad is not a good plan of action. Now, I've heard some stories of people running out and doing that and being highly successful, but I kind of have to wonder if those aren't urban myths, okay? And it's definitely not something that I would ever recommend. You know, for instance, the resources that you're going to need if you respond to a cat loss situation is going to be different depending on the type of loss you're responding to. Are you responding to a wildfire? Are you responding to a hurricane? Are you responding to a weather event where you're going to be dealing with frozen pipes bursting or rivers overflowing into people's homes? Very different scenarios, and the types of resources you're going to need are going to be different on each one of those. The other thing is you may need different types of resources when it comes to the actual, not just the equipment that you're using, but places for your team to stay. You may need different types of training for your actual team members and people that are doing the work for you as well. Depending on the type of cat loss you're responding to, you may need it'll help you to determine how many personnel you need to bring. Do you need to use local labor personnel? It's really important for you to understand that getting the work in the door means you need to understand the uniqueness of marketing in a cat loss situation. It's very, very different than what you're used to in your own restoration company back home. However, there's so many similarities and things that you just need to really know and bring with you in your marketing efforts. You need to understand how to quickly connect with a community. Don't forget, this is probably a situation where you're coming in more than likely to a cold call situation, basically. So how do you connect with that community and let them know that you're there to help them get through this catastrophe situation? The other thing that you're going to really need to help you with those three key points is systems in place. You got to have some systems and procedures to get you through this so that your jobs get done quick, on time, your marketing is consistent and fluent, and that you get paid quickly because your invoices are getting out and getting processed right away by the insurance company, or you're swiping a credit card on their doorstep from the homeowner and you're getting paid right away as soon as that work is done, and sometimes even getting a half down up front before that work even starts. And knowing what the procedures for working in a state that maybe is not your home-based state. Therefore, your business license may be invalid in this other state. Your liability insurance. You've got to have these kind of procedures in place to check that stuff out and know what you need to do to put those pieces into place. That being said, I want to take this opportunity to tell you about an awesome event that's coming up in our industry. It's actually in October of this year, and it is called Preparing to Respond. And that is the event that you need to attend if you are even remotely considering going to cat loss situations and responding to them, or maybe you respond to cat loss situations, but it was kind of stressful, things didn't go really well, and you just want to learn some more and get some more systems and procedures that you can use to be more successful. And maybe you are responding to cat losses and it's going pretty good. You're pretty happy with it, but you just want to know about the latest and greatest that's out there and available for us in these kind of situations. And maybe you want to interact with others who have had success in the responding to cat loss situations, and being able to maybe network and come up with other companies that you can maybe work with in another area when something happens. And at this event, there is going to be some great opportunities for you to learn. And one of them is going to be with, yes, yours truly. Firehouse Education is going to be there. We are going to teach you how we are very successful and very profitable when we respond to cat loss type situations, such as hurricanes, floods, wildfires, and even cold weather events. We're going to give you the nuts and bolts details about how we operate in a cat loss situation and do so very successfully and profitably, so that when you leave us, you will definitely be prepared to respond. And on that note, go to preparingtorespond.com right now and register for that event. It's going to be full of awesome classes and speakers, and it's going to be a don't miss event in our industry. It's the first one of its kind, and I'm very excited about that. And I think it's going to be a huge resource for those of us who want to be prepared to respond. And on that note, I thank you for watching. Please be sure and keep sending me in those questions, and I will see you on the next week's Ask Annissa video column.